Good day, children. In the previous video, we have read that the ironmaster, who was the owner of the iron mill, mistook the peddler as his old regimental colleague, politely spoke to him, and invited him to his house. But the peddler declined the invitation. Then the ironmaster sent his daughter Edla Wilmanson, thinking that she has good convincing power and therefore will be able to bring the peddler home. So let's continue the chapter. Is top paragraph. My name is Edla Wilmanson, said the young girl. My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forge tonight, and then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. I'm so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time. So Edla Wilmanson gave her introduction that my name is Edla Wilmanson and my father has given me permission to come here and invite you to the home, and I am very sorry, Captain, that you have faced so many difficulties in the time. Now look here, it is written, I am so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time, means you have faced difficult time. She looked at him compassionately. Compassionately means sympathetically, with her heavy eyes, and then she noticed that the man was afraid. Either he had stolen something or else he has escaped from jail, she thought, and added quickly, you may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us just as freely as you came. Only please stay with us over Christmas Eve. So she showed sympathy towards the peddler, and peddler's facial expressions showed that either he had stolen something or he has run away from the jail. Then she continued talking to him by saying that as freely you will come to our house, in the same way you will be free to leave our house. There will be no compulsion to stay for a long time. So we only want that you should come and celebrate Christmas with us. She said this in such a friendly manner that the Rattrap peddler must have felt confidence in her. It would never have occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself, miss, he said. I will come at once. So she has spoken in such a friendly manner that Rattrap felt confidence in her, and he further said that I think you are quite worried about me, so I'll come to your house. He accepted the fur coat which the valet handed him with a deep bow, threw it over his rags, and followed the young lady out to the carriage without granting the astonished blacksmiths so much as a glance. So he accepted the fur coat, wore on his shoulders, and then he was ready to go along with the young lady on the carriage. Carriage is the vehicle which people used long ago. We also call buggy. So he went to the carriage without granting the astonished blacksmith. So two blacksmiths were working there. So without giving a look to the blacksmiths. But while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. While he was going to the manor house, means farmhouse, the landlord's house, he was having the wrong thoughts in the mind. Forebodings, we can say wrong thoughts were coming in the mind, or wrong predictions were coming in the mind. Why the devil did I take that fellow's money? He thought, now I am sitting in the trap and will never get out of it. Now he was cursing himself, why I have stolen the money from that old crofter's house, and now I am sitting in the trap. So to the vehicle he has said that this is a trap and will never come out of it. The next day was Christmas Eve. Students, 25th December is a Christmas day, and just a day before the Christmas we call it a Christmas Eve. So next day was Christmas Eve, and when the ironmaster came into the dining room for breakfast, he probably thought with satisfaction of his old regimental comrade whom he had run across so unexpectedly. Now next day was Christmas Eve. Ironmaster was sitting in the dining room, and he was just thinking that today I'm going to meet my friend or my old colleague whom I have met unexpectedly. All of a sudden, I have met him. First of all, we must see to it that he gets a little flesh on his bones, he said to his daughter, who was busy at the table. So told he told the daughter that first of all we must give him some food to eat, and then we must see that he gets something else to do than to run around the country selling rat traps. Then we will think about how he can change his business. Now he should no more sell the rat traps. Next, it is queer. Queer means strange. It is queer that things have gone downhill with him as badly as that, said the daughter. Last night I did not think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man. Now the daughter said it is quite strange that he was having hard times, and last night when I went to invite him home, it doesn't seem that he was an educated man. His looks shows that he was an uneducated man. You must have patience, my little girl, said the father. As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different. Last night he was naturally embarrassed. Embarrassed means he was feeling uneasy or feeling awkward because he was in rags. The tramp manners will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. Tramp means wanderer, as I told you. Tramp, peddler, vagabond, all these words are used for the rat trap seller. So the tramp manners will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. As he will remove the rags and wear the good clothes, his all tramp manners will go away. Next paragraph. Just as he said this, the door opened and the stranger entered. Yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. The valet had bathed him, cut his hair, and shaved him. Moreover, he was dressed in a good looking suit of clothes which belonged to the ironmaster. He wore a white shirt and a starched collar and whole shoes. Whole shoes means proper fitted shoes. So, after some time, the guest entered the room and he was totally groomed, well dressed, good looking, and he was wearing the clothes of ironmaster. Next, but although his guest was now so well groomed, the ironmaster did not seem pleased. Ironmaster was not at all happy to see him, though he was looking very good, well dressed up. He looked at him with puckered brow, and it was easy to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake, but that now, when he stood there in broad daylight, it was impossible to mistake him for an acquaintance, for an old acquaintance. Now he looked at him with puckered brow. Puckered means uh, wrinkled brow. He was angry as well as surprised to see him. Now, because why he was surprised? Because the person whom he has invited in his house was not his old acquaintance, was not his known person. Because at night time he has gone to the forge and he has made a mistake in the reflection of the fire, and now in broad daylight it was all clear that he is not his old acquaintance. It was clear that he is somebody else. He is a stranger for them. What does this mean? He thundered. The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. Now, stranger made no attempt to dissimulate means to pretend anything or to hide anything. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. Splendor means his good looks. The feeling of having a smart person has come to an end. "It is not my fault, sir," he said. "I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader, and I pleaded and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge, but no harm has been done. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away." So he said, "It is not my fault. You called me to your house. I just requested you, pleaded means requested and begged you that I want to stay in the forge in that area. But it was you who invited me, and nothing wrong has been done. Even I can put on my rags again and leave your house." "Well," said the ironmaster, hesitating a little, "it was not quite honest either. You must admit that, and I should not be surprised if the sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter." Now he said, "You were not honest to me during previous night, and I would like to call sheriff." Sheriff here means police. "I would like to call the police to solve the matter." The tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. Now, as the tramp heard the name of police, he got aggressive and he struck the table with his fist, with his closed hand. Now I am going to tell you Now I am going to tell you, Mr. Ironmaster, how things are," he said. "This whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese rinds and bits of pork set out to drag a poor fellow into trouble." Now he said, "Ironmaster, I will tell you what the things are. This whole world is a big rat trap. This whole world is a big rat trap. All the good things which are offered to us, they are just bait. They are just to trap us. Just like the cheese rinds. Cheese rinds is the outer covering of the cheese, that hard outer covering of the cheese. And the pieces of pork, bits of pork means pig meat, pieces of pig meat. These are all the attractions. Just as the cheese rinds and pieces of pig meat attract the rat into the rat trap, in the same way this world is full of attractions. So he further said, "If the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, Mr. Ironmaster, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught in the trap." So he said, he pointed to the ironmaster, that if you will hand me over to the police, then the day will come that you will be attracted by some attraction like a piece of pork, and you will be caught in the trap. You will be in trouble one day. The ironmaster began to laugh. That was not so badly said, my good fellow. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve, but now get out of here as fast as you can." No, he said that, "Okay, I will not call the sheriff, and now leave my house as fast as you can." But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, "I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go." And with that, she went and closed the door. Now, just as the man was about to leave the house, the daughter closed the door and said, "I think this man should stay with us." "What in the world are you doing?" said the father. The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was, going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. Now, when father said, "What the hell you are doing? Why are you stopping him?" she couldn't answer what to say. Then the thoughts came to her mind that in the morning she was so happy, and she was feeling good that today she will make the peddler feel good by serving him good food. And that's why this was the reason she interceded for the vagabond. Interceded means she mediated, she came in between father and the peddler, and she didn't want the peddler to leave the house. I am thinking of this stranger here, said the young girl. He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. Wherever he turns, he is chased away. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross examined. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. Now she answers to her father that this person walks the whole year long selling rat traps and with no peace at all. Nobody welcomes him. I want him that he should spend at least one day very peacefully in our house. Moreover, he is always afraid of being arrested and cross examined. Cross examined means questioning, one a chain of questions, one after the other. When we put the questions one after the other, that is called cross examine. The ironmaster mumbled something in his beard. Mumbled, he spoke very silently. In his beard, he could not bring himself to oppose her. No, he was not in a mood to oppose his daughter's decision. It was all a mistake. Of course, she continued, but anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer. She said that we can't say go to that person to whom we have invited on our own. So we have invited the person to celebrate Christmas with us, so we can't say him to leave our house. You do preach worse than a parson, said the ironmaster. I only hope you won't have to regret this. Now father said, you speak good things, but I only hope that you won't have to regret. The, don't regret on your decision. The young girl took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. Now sit down and eat, she said, for she could see that her father had given him. Father had given in means now father is not interfering in her matters. The man with the rat trap said not a word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food, started eating food. Time after time, he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him, who interrupted in between ironmaster and peddler. Why had she done it? What could the crazy idea be? So he was doubtful about the intentions of the young girl, and he was wondering what the idea be behind keeping me in the house. Thank you, and next we will complete in the next video. Thank you.